Hello, students. I hope you are all fine and in good health. In this audio presentation, I will continue from where I left in my previous audio presentation related with the chapter The Summer of the Beautiful White Horse, written by William Saroyan. So, I completed up to Capricious and Vagrant. Up to this part, I have completed. Now, let me continue from the next paragraph. We rode, and my cousin Morad sang. For all anybody knew, we were still in the old country, where at least, according to some of our neighbors, we belonged. So they were riding on the horse, and they were within the same domain. They haven't crossed the domain. They are still riding on the horse in the morning breeze, in the cool morning breeze, and they are within their neighborhood only. They haven't passed by their neighborhood yet. We let the horse run as long as it felt like running. We haven't halted the horse, we haven't stopped the horse. The horse was galloping, and we were both enjoying it a lot. And we gave full access to the horse and let the horse run as long as it felt like running. At last, my cousin Morad said, "Get down, I want to ride alone." Now, at last, Morad told Adam to get down so that he wanted to ride all alone. "Will you let me ride alone?" I asked. "That is up to the horse," my cousin Morad said. "Get down." Now that depends on the horse. Now first you get down, I want to have a ride. "The horse will let me ride," I said. "We shall see," he said. "Don't forget that I have a way with the horse." Now, Morad told Adam that don't forget that I can deal with horses. I have a way with horses. "Well," I said, "anyway, you have with a horse. I have also." Now it seems that whatever Morad is saying, it seems that Aram had to say something regarding that. Now, since Morad told Aram that he had a way with the horses, Aram also told him that he also had a way with the horses. "For the sake of your safety," he said, "let us hope so. Get down." "All right," I said, "but remember, you have got to let me try to ride alone." Now, obviously, Aram got down from the horse, and after that, he told Morad that you also have to give me a chance to ride on the horse all alone. I got down, and my cousin Morad kicked his heels into the horse and shouted, "Wazir, run!" The horse stood on its hind legs, as you can see in the picture also, snorted, and burst into a fury of speed that was the loveliest thing I had ever seen. That is the galloping of the horse at a fast pace. It was one of the beautiful scene, one of the loveliest scene ever seen by Adam. My cousin Morad raced the horse across a dry field of dry grass to an irrigation ditch, crossed the ditch on the horse, and 5 minutes later returned dripping wet. So within 5 minutes after crossing the irrigation ditch, he again returned back. He was sweating. He was dripping wet. That means he was sweating. The sun was coming up because slowly and slowly it is getting brighter with the passage of time. "Now it's my turn to ride," I said. My cousin Morad got off the horse. "Ride," he said. Now, without any more argument, Morad told Aram, "Okay, fine. Now it's your turn. See, okay, you ride on the horse then." I leaped to the back of the horse and for a moment knew the most awful fear imaginable. the horse did not move because it's a new rider and the horse is feeling very much uncomfortable and the horse was not moving. Kick into his muscles. My cousin Morad said, "What are you waiting for? We have got to take him back before everybody in the world is up and about. Now, what you are waiting for? Kick onto his muscles. We have to keep it safely to a place until everyone wakes up. Because if everyone wakes up, then the entire truth related with this horse will be exposed. And that is what Moram never liked. That is the reason he told Adam that please ride on the horse, kick onto his muscles, and make it fast before everyone wakes up and before the identity of the horse is discovered. It is very important that they should finish up this riding business for the day. So let's see what happens after this, dear students. I kicked into the muscles of the horse. Once again it reared and snorted. Then it began to run. I didn't know what to do because it seems that Aram had no control over the horse, and the horse had already taken a new course of riding. Because previously, when Morad was riding on the horse, it went to a it went to the other direction. Now, when Aram is riding on the horse moved to another direction. So I repeat, I didn't know what to do. Instead of running across the field to the irrigation ditch, the horse ran down the road to the vineyard of Dikran Halabian, where it began to leap over vines. Now, Dikran Halabian is the name of a farmer. Now, it seems that the horse crossed the vineyard of Dikran Halabian and finally it went on leaping over the vines. The horse leaped over 7 vines before I fell. Then it continued running. Now, after crossing or almost leaping over 7 vines, finally Aram fell down from the back of the horse accidentally. And then the horse went on riding. Remember, after that, the horse went on running without a rider on its back. My cousin Morad came running down the road. "I am not worried about you," he shouted. "We have got to get that horse. You go this way and I will go this way." Now Morad came quickly and then he told Aram that I am not worried about you. I am not at all worried about you. I am worried about the horse. And then he instructed Adam to go by the roadside where he will proceed, whereas Morad or whereas he will proceed by the other direction. I continued down the road, and my cousin Morad went across the field towards the irrigation ditch. Why? Because each and every time Morad used to drive, or rather to say, drove the horse into that part or into that region only. So Morad went by that place to see whether the horse is there or not. It took him half an hour to find the horse and bring him back. So within half an hour, successfully Morad brought the horse back. "All right," he said, "jump on. The whole world is awake now." "What will we do?" I said. "Well," he said, "we will either take him back or hide him until tomorrow morning because there is no other option left. We have to hide him from others." So, let me move on. "Where will we hide him?" I said. "I know a place," he said. "How long ago did you steal this horse?" I said. Now, all of a sudden, again, Aram went on doing his regular questioning. And it seems that he went on inquiring Morad that when did he started riding on this horse, or how long ago did he had stolen the horse. It suddenly dawned on me that he had been taking these early morning rides. Dawned on me means this idea cropped into my mind. I got this idea all of a sudden that he had been taking these early morning rides for some time and had come for me this morning only because he knew how much I longed to ride. Now it is very much crystal clear to Aram that Morad used to have horse ride for a long time. And it seems that since Aram also liked to ride on a horse, so that was the reason Morad came with the horse. And on previous mornings, Morad used to ride on the horse all alone. Who said anything about stealing a horse? He said. Anyhow, I said, how long ago did you begin riding in the morning? Now, again, the routine inquiry of Aram started that how long ago do you started riding on the horse? Not until this morning, he said. Are you telling the truth? I said. Now, Aram, it was very difficult for Aram to digest this that Morad had started riding on the horse that particular morning only, because it seems that Morad is riding on the horse for a long time, and it seems that already he developed a rapport, or already he developed a sort of emotional bond, or rather to say an emotional connection with the horse. Of course not, he said. But if we are found out, that's what you ought to say. I don't want both of us to be liars. Now, this shows that Morad is a boy or a person with a very strong character. He is guilty. Obviously, he is saying a lie to Aram, and Aram had already discovered that. But he doesn't want Aram to be a partner in crime. He doesn't want that. He wants to take the entire responsibility within his own shoulders. He doesn't want Aram to be a part of it. All you know is that we started riding this morning. That means he told Aram that if anyone asks you, you will say that you have started riding on this horse from this morning. All right, I said. He walked the horse quietly to the barn of a deserted vineyard. Deserted means isolated, which at one time had been the pride of a farmer named Fedvajian. There were some oats and dry alfalfa in the barn. Now this place is totally deserted, but once it was a very famous vineyard of a farmer by the name of Fedvajian, but now only dry alfalfa and some oats grows here, but no more vines. But it was once a very famous vineyard. We began walking home. So this is the place. This is the deserted place where Morad kept the horse. That is the vineyard of once famous but now the deserted vineyard of Fedvajian. It is in this place that Morad had kept the horse hidden. Now let me move on. It wasn't easy, he said, to get the horse to behave so nicely. At first, it wanted to run wild, but as I have told you, I have a way with a horse. I can get it to want to do anything I want it to do. Horses understand me. Now it seems that Morad told Aram that at the very beginning it was very hard for him to control the horse, but slowly, with the passage of time, he had managed to control the horse. Now, the horse actually responds to whatever thing he would say to the horse to do. That means now it seems that he had full control over the horse. How do you do it? I said. I have an understanding with the horse, he said. Yes, what sort of an understanding? I said. A simple and honest one, he said. Now, obviously, Aram got a bit surprised because Aram was very much eager to do exactly all those things that Morad is to do. And that was the reason he told that what sort of an understanding do you have with the horse? And in reply to that, Mora told a very simple and honest one. Now I am moving on, dear students. Now you see, well, I said, I wish I knew how to reach an understanding like that with a horse. You are still a small boy, he said. When you get to be 13, you will know how to do it. When you will be of 13 years age or 13 years old, you will get to know about it. I went home and ate a hearty breakfast. Hearty means you can say a heavy breakfast. That afternoon, my uncle Kostrov, I guess you all remember about this particular person, the crazy one in the whole tribe, so came to our house for coffee and cigarettes. He sat in the parlor, sipping and smoking and remembering the old country. Now he went on sipping the coffee and smoking the tobacco, and he went on thinking about the bygone days. Then another visitor arrived, a farmer named John Byro, an Assyrian who, out of loneliness, had learned to speak Armenian, because he was actually belonged to the Assyrian tribe, but since he haven't got any company there, so out of loneliness he went on speaking Armenian language. My mother brought the lonely visitor. The lonely visitor here refers to John Byro. My mother brought the lonely visitor coffee and tobacco, and he rolled a cigarette and sipped and smoked. And then at last, sighing sadly, he said, my white horse, which was stolen last month, is still gone. I cannot understand it. Now it is very clear to us that who is the rightful owner of the horse. It was none other than John Byro. And he told the narrator's mother that mysteriously the horse disappeared from his stable, and it was almost more than a month that the horse is not with him. My uncle Kostrov became very irritated and shouted, it is no harm. What is the loss of a horse? Haven't we all lost the homeland? What is this crying over a horse? That why you are crying over a horse? Is it more greater than the loss of our motherland or homeland? Okay, because Uncle Kostrov, his manner of talking is like this. Whether he is listening to a good news, whether he is listening to a very sad news, every time his behavior used to be unique and used to be same. Every time he used to irritate others, and he himself is always irritated. And he went on abusing and cursing others, because that was his nature, that was his chief characteristic trait. That may be all right for you, a city dweller, to say, John Byro said, but what of my surrey? Surrey is the wagon or the cart that he used to drive along with the horse. What good is a surrey without a horse? But fine, you might be a city dweller. Now, by city dweller, he refers to Uncle Kostrov, and then he told Uncle Kostrov that what is the use of a cart without a horse? Okay, because it seems that John Byro was a businessman as well as he was a farmer. He needed the wagon, okay, because the horse is to drive the wagon. It is to help in his business transactions also. He could have easily moved from one place to another. But as you know, dear students, now he is manually dragging the wagon all by himself, and he already had covered a distance of 10 miles by walking, and that was the reason his left leg was paining a bit, and we will get to know about it right now. I walked 10 miles to get here, John Byro said. You have legs, my uncle Kostrov shouted. Obviously you have legs, so why you are worrying about it? My left leg pains me, the farmer said. Pay no attention to it, my uncle Kostrov roared. That horse cost me $60, the farmer said. I spit on money, my uncle Kostrov roared. I spit on money. What is money? After all, it's nothing. I spit on money. Look at the way Uncle Kostrov is talking, or rather to say, Look at the way in which Uncle Khosrow is communicating. It is very rude. He is not only short tempered, he is not only irritating, but he is very rude in his behavior. As I told you all, whatever might be the situation, whether it's a happy situation or whether it's a tragic situation, he behaves exactly in the same way. Now, he got up and stalked out of the house, slamming the screen door, slamming or banging, we can say. Who is he? It is John Byro, because he is so disappointed. He was actually very disappointed when he entered the house of the narrator and when he was actually conversing with the narrator's mother. Now it seems that he became more unhappy and disappointed at the turn of the events, and he felt very, very unfortunate, and that was and very, very depressed and angry also with the behavior of Uncle Khosrow, and decided to move out from that place as soon as possible. Now he got up and stalked out of the house, slamming the screen door. My mother explained. He has a gentle heart, she said. It is simply that he is homesick, and such a large man. Please don't mind whatever he is saying, because at the end of the day he is a bit homesick, and he has a big heart. He is a bit homesick, and he is a large man after all. The farmer went away, and I ran over to my cousin Morad's house, because now it is very much clear to Aram that who is the actual owner of the horse. Now let me continue, dear students. He was sitting under a peach tree trying to repair the hurt wing of a young robin which could not fly. He was talking to the bird. One thing is very much sure to us by this time. Despite Morad had stolen the horse, he had love for animals and birds. And here we find that he was repairing the broken wing of a bird so that the bird can fly. This shows that despite he was a natural descendant of Uncle Khosrow, despite he was very restless and he lives for the moment, but he had enough kindness, compassion, and generosity, and that is seen how he was repairing the wings of the robin redbreast. That means at the end of the day he was very much kind hearted. So let me continue. He was also talking to the bird. What is it? He said. The farmer John Byro, I said. He visited our house. He wants his horse. Okay, he wants his horse. And now it is very clear to Aram that who had stolen the horse. You have had it a month. I want you to promise not to take it back until I learn to ride. Now, Aram came with a totally different, or rather to say, with a totally unusual proposal. And what was the proposal? The proposal is that Aram wanted Morad to keep the horse for a longer period of time, almost for a year, not to give it back before that, because Aram also wanted to have a ride, and not only that, he wanted to actually train himself to become a pro rider of horses. And for that reason he told Morad that since you have already had stolen the horse, let delay the process of giving it back right now. Let me learn it first and then you give it back. What, he roared. Are you inviting a member of the Garaglinian family to steal? What are you trying to say? What are you talking about? You are provoking, you are instigating a Garaglinian member to steal. How could you do that? The horse must go back to its true owner. True owner means rightful owner. No, I can't do that. I can't hold this horse back for a long time. I must return it back to its rightful owner. When? I said. In 6 months at the latest, he said. Obviously 6 months at the latest, so let me go. He threw the bird into the air. The bird tried hard, almost fell twice, but at last flew away high and straight. That means on the third attempt, the bird successfully flew. Now let me continue, dear students. We are at the final climax part. Now, early every morning for 2 weeks, my cousin Morad and I took the horse out of the barn of the deserted vineyard. That means, remember, it was kept in the vineyard of Edvagian, where we were hiding it, and rode it. And every morning, the horse, when it was my turn to ride alone, leaped over grapevines and small trees and threw me and ran away. Every time it was the same picture. When Morad used to ride on the horse, it was a very smooth ride for Morad. The horse was also comfortable, Morad was also comfortable. But the tragic part comes when Aram used to ride on the horse, because every time the horse was restless, and after moving few distance, it seems that the horse used to throw him out from his back, or he used to fall on the ground. Okay, every time the same thing used to happen. Nevertheless, I hoped in time to learn to write the way my cousin Mora did, but still the author was very optimistic that in due course of time he will get to learn to ride the horse just like his cousin Mora did. Let me do now. One morning, on the way to Fedvagian's deserted vineyard, we ran into the farmer John Byro, who was on his way to town. So, face off with the real owner of the horse, that is John Byro. Let me do the talking, my cousin Morat said. I have a way with farmers. Previously, he told that I have a way with horses. Later, you will get to know that when, and you know it by this time because I'm revising this lesson. You know it by this time that when they will go to put the horse back to the stable of John Byro, few dogs will be chasing them. But to the utter surprise of Aram, they won't make any noise either. So, good morning, John Byro, my cousin Morat said to the farmer. The farmer studied the horse eagerly. Studied the horse eagerly means looked very closely at the horse. Now, dear students, I am moving on to the final page. Good morning, son of my friends, he said. What is the name of your horse? What is the name of your horse? My heart, my cousin Morat said in Armenian. A lovely name, John Byro said for a lovely horse. Your horse is very lovely, very sweet. I could swear, that means I could take an oath, I could promise. It is the horse that was stolen from me many weeks ago. May I look into his mouth? Can I look into his mouth? Of course, Morar said. The farmer looked into the mouth of the horse. Tooth for tooth, he said. That means there is a lot of similarities with his stolen horse and this horse. I would swear it is my horse if I didn't know your parents. The fame of your family for honesty is well known to me. Yet the horse is the twin of my horse. A suspicious man. This line is very important, my dear friends. Uh, uh, my dear students. A suspicious man would believe his eyes instead of his heart. That means, good day, my dear friends. That means a suspicious man would actually believe his eyes instead of his heart. But John Byro, he actually believed them because of their ancient heritage of being honest and truthfulness for almost 11 centuries. And he told that if he hadn't known their parents, he would have believed that it is his horse. But since he knew their parents, so he decided to move on. The early the following morning means, dear students, the next morning, we took the horse to John Byro's vineyard and put it in the barn. So finally, Morad and Aram, both of them decided to give it back, to John Byro. Now the dogs followed us around without making a sound. The dogs, I whispered to my cousin Morad. I thought they would bark. Now, when they were keeping the horse at that time, few dogs were following them. But surprisingly, the dogs, they haven't made any noise. As I told you all earlier that Morad will be asked why so. Morad will say that I have a way with the dogs. So see this line, they would at somebody else. He said, I have a way with dogs. They would bark at someone else, but they won't bark at me. My cousin Morad put his arms around the horse, pressed his nose into the horse's nose, patted it, and then we went away. And finally, after that goodbye or the final meeting, then we went away. It was a very emotional scene when Morad pressed his nose against the nose of the horse, patted the horse, and finally left it inside the stable of John Byro and moved away. It was a very tragic, emotional scene because it seems that Morad really loved the horse a lot. And not only that, he made the horse very much athletic, also, that we will get to know at the very end of the story, because now John Byro, who had lost the horse mysteriously, was returned back to him in equally mysterious circumstances, and he is now very much impressed because the horse is now much more athletic. Now, let's move on. That afternoon, John Byro came to our house in his surrey and showed my mother the horse that had been stolen and returned. John Byro came, but John Byro was not a lonely man this time. He was not unhappy this time, but he was very happy because he finally got his horse back. I do not know what to think, he said. The horse is stronger than ever, better tempered too. I thank God. My uncle Kostrov, who was in the parlor, became irritated and shouted, Quiet, man, quiet. Your horse has been returned. Pay no attention to it. Now, the ending is also hilarious. It ended with the comic timing of Uncle Kostrov. Now, obviously, John Byro is a very happy man. He got his horse back and he told the narrator's mother that he came with his wagon or surrey or cart, we can say, and he is very happy now. Listening to him, it seems that the Uncle Kostrov, who was in the parlor, told him that he doesn't have to make any noise because he got his horse back. Now he finally said, pay no attention to it, because he finally ended his dialogue or his speech with his famous patent dialogue that it's no harm, pay no attention to it. That is what he is actually trying to say, or that is actually what he is meant to say. So, dear students, that ends the final portion of this chapter. Kindly go through it, and if there is any doubt anywhere, let me know about it. Thank you, students. Thank you all.